Hi, we are commencing here with environmental microbiology and environmental biotechnology. And in this session, we have to talk about waterborne disease. You know, water is an important and basic component of life. When it contains other substances instead of water, such as heavy metals, microorganisms, protozoans, it causes disease. When it is free from any type of contaminant, it is pure water. But this is a global dilemma that water is not in free form in this globe. It contains various type of components, and it has been estimated that more than 80% disease transfers from environment to human or from patient to healthy individual through water. Therefore, it is important we have to talk this thing that what are the diseases which are due to water. So, if water contain any type of pathogen, it will cause disease. So, it must be free from all type of pathogens, all type of microorganisms, and heavy metals. So, how we can do this thing and what type of disease are caused from water? We have to talk in this session. So, please be with us. Water flooding and storm surge. This we can see. Globally, our 1 billion people lack access to safe drinking water. This is global dilemma, not local dilemma. And when such type of surface runoff or flooding situation occurs on this globe, so it contaminates all water bodies. It carries all type of pollutants and chemicals from surface to water bodies, where these are becoming a part of the water body and water not uh, maintains its purity. So, in other component, we are saying that 2.5 billion people lack access to adequate sanitation. They have no proper system of sanitation. Estimated that 5 million people globally, primary kids, die from water-related disease annually. So, water is very important. It must be free from all type of contaminants, and it is a huge figure. 5 million people globally, especially kids, die from water related disease annually. So if we can maintain water in pure form, it is a huge and great success for human to maintain the life on globe and a standard life. So waterborne infectious disease, if you will see over here, rainfall, number one, transport and disseminate of infectious agents. When there is rain on surface of the globe, on mountains, on forest, on agriculture lands, it carries all type of substances from surfaces to water bodies. Okay, it collected all pollutants from surface of earth to water bodies. Now from here water disseminates for public, it distributes for public, for drinking purpose, for domestic use, for industrial use, for agriculture use, and for animal use. So all these pollutants which has been collected through rain, these will transfer, these will distribute to every individual through water. So if there are pathogens and pollutants and chemicals are present in water which has been collected from the surface of the land, these will be distributed to every individual and will cause health negative effects. Flooding, sewage treatment plant overflows, water sources contaminated, secondary shortage of clean drinking water. When there is a heavy rain, what happens, especially on big municipal cities, the sewage water system blocks or chokes, and that comes on streets. with rainwater and it goes to the water bodies. Water sewage treatment plants overflows, water sources contaminated, it will go to the water bodies. Either that is well, either that is lake, either that is pond, either that is river, it will go over there. And what will be in result of that? The clean drinking water will be short for the public. And due to this rain, sea level rise enhances risk of the severe flooding. Higher temperature increases growth and prolongs survival rate of infectious agents. Temperature increases growth and prolongs survival rate of the infectious agents because it carries organic molecules from surface of the earth and from sewage sewage lines, sewage ponds, and sewage treatment plants. These organic molecules provide nutrients for the pathogens to grow over there and survivability for longer time. Basically, it provides nutrients and higher temperature. Drought increases concentration of pathogens, impairs hygiene. So such type of conditions also occur. In North America, most of documented waterborne disease outbreaks occur after extreme precipitation events. So after heavy rain in huge municipal cities, in, in huge municipalities, in bigger municipalities, uh, extreme outbreaks, disease outbreaks are occurring after extreme precipitation, and the reason is that, which has been mentioned. 9 million cases of waterborne disease occur annually in the United States. It is a developed country, but we cannot estimate and we have no reports about underdeveloping or developing countries. Foodborne disease occur because we are using food for the food preparation and making food. So pathogens, if that contains contaminants, pathogens, heavy metals, whatsoever is present in water, that becomes part of the food because we are washing crockery from that water, we are cooking food in that water, we are washing hands in the to that from that water, so it causes foodborne disease. And 76 million illness a year with 325,000 hospitalized and 5,000 deaths. So we can understand how much important is the quality of water, purity of the water. If water is not pure, we have to pay such type of disaster. If we want to maintain, we can manage. We have to get expertise in water treatment. So we can see the disease, waterborne disease. If you will see over here, bacteria which are bacterial disease which are caused through water are vibriosis, VIBRIO species, these are transmitting through water, E. coli transmitting through water, Campylobacter transmitting from environment from sewage to healthy individuals, Salmonella transfers from environment uh, to human through water, Leptospira, it also transmits through water. Legionella also transmits through water. If you will see the parasitic disease, Cryptosporidium also transfers through water to healthy individual. Giardia, toxoplasmosis, cyclospora, and Neisseria. Viruses, hepatitis A, polio, and noroviruses, these are transmitting through water. Fungus, Cryptococcus, Aspergillus, harmful algae bloom. These all microorganisms, which some are bacteria, some are parasites, some are viruses, some are fungus. These are transmitting from environment to healthy individual through water, from infectious one to healthy individual through water, from sewage water to, if it will mix in drinking water or through rainwater, it go to the water body and it will disseminate and it will uh, approach to the healthy individual and it will cause disease. So heavy downpours are increasing exposure to disease. Heavy downpours are increasing exposure to disease. So what happens? Streams and rivers rise which contribute to the flooding of home, business and critical infrastructure like sewers and storm water systems. When there is heavy rain, what happens? The level of the streams and rivers rise and it carries out pollutants from surface, either that is animal from animal source, from agriculture source, from industrial source, from bird source, from mining source, from everything. It carries all pollutants to the water body. Flood waters can become contaminated with agricultural waste, chemicals, raw sewage, and other pollutants. Climate change increases heavy downpours, sewage overflow from treatment plants, septic feeds, and municipal lines can bag up to the people's home. So this type of problem also occurs due to heavy rain. Flood materials in home, schools, and business can cause mold to grow and be inhaled. So when moisture and water content is too much in residential buildings, where fungus and other microorganisms will grow and gradually they will produce spores, those will be inhaled by the residents and people are coming out there. So can cause disease. Flood water can contain disease-causing bacteria, viruses, and parasites. This will go to the water bodies and will contaminate and will cause disease. So this is a whole flow chart, unidirectional flow chart of the water contamination and it is transmission to human bodies. Climate change also affects the disease. Leading cause of the child mortality across the world with 1.6 million annual deaths in children under 5 years of age is due to water, is due to diarrhea. And diarrhea is caused, the main reason of the diarrhea is contaminated water. Worldwide, 1.1 billion individuals lack access to improved safe drinking water sources and 2.5 billion lack improved sanitation. Children, elderly, and those with chronic disease and weakened immune system at greatest risk. Children, old age people, and those people who have immunocompromised, who are immunocompromised, they are at risk from these waterborne disease. So we have to take care about the water when we are using it. Studies in India, Peru, and China found a 1 Celsius raise in ambient temperature increases diarrheal disease anywhere from 5.6% to 16%, and found hospital admissions from diarrhea in children increased 8% in Lima, Peru during a rain period, EI Nino period. Waterborne disease outbreaks in United States exhibits a positive correlation with excess precipitation events. So here we are correlating that when there is huge rain and poor sanitation system, the population of those regions are at risk. Huge precipitation and poor sanitation system, the public of that region are at huge risk. So what happens? When there is rain, it carries all type of pollutants to water bodies, and from water bodies it is distributed to community for drinking purpose, for domestic use. It carries pathogens, heavy metals, and pollutants with it, and individuals are using this water without treatment. So this cause disease out there, and these disease gradually are going to be severe for immunocompromised people, aged people, and for children, and causing huge negative impacts on society. In the United States, by 21,000, the Great Lake Climate Molding Project, a 50% to 120% increase in overflow events. An analysis of 87 waterborne disease outbreaks from 1910 to 2010 showed that heavy rainfall and flooding is associated with VIBRIO and leptospira infections most often. So bacterial contamination, toxogenic E. coli, H7, 157 or 157H7 from contaminated food and water. This produce toxin in human intestine if it will transfer through water bodies to a handy individual. So it will lead bloody diarrhea, vomiting may lead to kidney failure and even death. Campylobacter, common cause of food poisoning from meat, unpasteurized dairy products, contaminated water. So this also transfers from contaminated water, unpasteurized dairy products, and meat to the healthy individual and cause disease. Salmonella, common cause of food poisoning, it also transfers from infected one to healthy individual through water, through sewage water. Leptospira is spread through the urine of infected animals, rodents through the soil and water, and during flooding, infectious in urban kids increasing high temperature are associated with higher rates of production and disease. So association between precipitation and waterborne disease outbreaks of E. coli, here we can see association between precipitation, between rainfall and waterborne disease. This is rainfall. Okay, there is a huge rainfall. After huge rainfall, it carried all the contaminants from surface to water bodies, and from water bodies it is disseminated and distributed to community where it has been used by the public, and gradually they suffered in disease just after heavy rainfall. Gradually it reduces when it is precipitation reduces. So there is a strong correlation between heavy rainfall and waterborne disease. Bacteria, VIBRIO species and Legionella. VIBRIO is strongly influenced by climate, both fresh and marine water. Vibrio cholera causes estimated 3 to 5 million cases and 100,000 to 120,000 deaths every yearly worldwide. Young children in endemic area most affected. Virulent Vibrio parahemolyticus strain found in Maryland shellfish and Alaskan oysters in Price Williamson, furthest north, big public health concern. So how it reached to there? Because Vibrio can grow in human intestine and it goes into the sewage water, and sewage water without treatment through rainwater it goes to the oceans through rivers, and water where it has been accumulated and consumed in fish, it will grow over there. When this fish is used by human, so it will cause this disease. Climate warming can increase pathogen development and survival rate, disease transmission, and host vulnerability. When climate changes and temperature increases, this is supportive for the pathogen, for survival, for development, for transmission, and consequently the host where it will grow, it will cause disease that is going in vulnerable form. Similarly, Legionella disease, respiratory illness transmitted solely by water, warm water, and perhaps other factors like association with amoeba influences the potential to colonize water system. So Legionella also transmits through water uh, from environment to healthy individual. So it is up to this, and in next class uh, we will continue